Hey guys, Vespertine Fan 500 here, and here I'm giving you guys something a little different. This is an Edison deck profile. I've been really enjoying playing Edison, and I've been really fixated on it recently, and so I'm excited to show you guys the deck I've played. Um, this is called Dream Frogs, or Fishboard Frogs, whatever you want to call it. Um, this build is kind of a homebrew of mine, but it's very inspired by James Ark, the Professor's deck profile, so check that out if you haven't seen it. I haven't won anything big or anything with this deck. I've just been climbing DB ladder and taking this to events, and I've been having lots of fun with it. So I just wanted to show you guys. Without further ado, I'm going to move on to the main deck. First and foremost, the most important card in the deck, Substitute. This guy is way ahead of any other card in Edison. It can turn any monster into a frog monster, not once per turn, so you can filter out all the frogs on your deck, and with a dupe block, there are a lot more utility frogs. This deck, Dream Frogs, is a lot more Substitute centric, so the entire deck kinda centers around just getting lots of bodies for this guy to do things with, and what you can do with those bodies, like synchro plays and such. So this guy is important. Play him at no less than 3. He's incredible. Next I have 3 Swap Frogs. Great utility card, also a card that you can just use to get all the other Substitutes and other frog monsters out of your deck with Substitute, and you can special summon him, so you can use him to tribute for monarchs or other tribute monsters in the deck, and anytime he is summoned, he sends a frog monster, or an aqua monster, to the graveyard from the deck. So he's insane. He can set up your Treeborn Frog plays, pretty much anything you want to do. He's just a great guy overall. Next I've got 3 Dupe Frogs. Most traditional frog lists play 2 Dupe Frogs, but since it's Dream Frogs and it's a lot more Substitute centric, we are on 3 Dupe Frogs, and to be honest, I would not want to play any less. They're incredible. Oh, they just completely stop your opponent. A lot of decks struggle with getting over the dupe block, so it's just overall great. Like, even 1 Dupe Frog on the field face up with a Substitute is insane, but if you can get 2 or even 3, it just gets crazier from there, and it's so easy to get this board. All you need is 3 monsters on the field, and one of those monsters has to be Substitute. So Dupe Frog is great. He also recycles or searches when destroyed. He does miss timing often, but it's a nice little bonus, you know, whenever it does happen. So then of course I got the 2 Treeborn. I like 2 Treeborn. I think he is amazing. Treeborn Frog is awesome. He comes back every single turn as long as you don't have back row, which usually isn't an issue for us. So he's just great for tribute fodder, Substitute fodder, econ, pretty much anything in this deck. He's awesome. I mean, he needs no introduction. It's Treeborn Frog. For the utility frogs, I'm playing Unifrog and Desfrog. No flip-flop frog. He's kind of too slow and is also a brick when you open it up in your opening hand, and I don't like to see bricks. I like to minimize the bricks. And Desfrog and Unifrog are great. Unifrog's great for back row heavy decks where you can just attack directly under a dupe block or something, or even with just a Treeborn Frog there, and it's just an MST, so it's great to deal with things like oppression. It's great to deal with floodgates, pretty much anything, like any back row. I love taking out bottomlesses with it. It feels great. Desfrog is really good, especially with monster I'll get to later, Fishboard Blaster, because he's great to bring out and beat over things, and also he's great with Fishboard Blaster because he is an instant level 6 with this card. So Goyo Guardian, Uraquizis, anything you want, like Desfrog is the guy you need to talk to if you want to get it done. For the Monarchs, I'm playing 3 Caius. I love this card, amazing. It's the best card in Edison, no need for an introduction. In main deck, this is kind of weird, Dark Dust Spirit, but I love him. You can set him as a little trick if you don't think they'll fall, or if you don't think they'll see through it. Usually he's just nice to push for things like game. They got 5 monsters on the field. Like a good example is with Amaryllis. Amaryllis likes to put up a million different monsters. You put this guy out, wipe their monsters, and then just attack, and then you guarantee that he will be next. The field wipe will be on your field next turn because he goes straight back to your hand, and Treeborn Frog is usually set up. So great card. I'm also playing 1 Lad. I love him. I think he's amazing. I also don't think he needs really any introduction or explaining. I've thought about playing 2, but I am kind of reserving that spot for these monsters. I play 2 Junk Synchron. I love going into synchro plays in this deck, and it's a lot easier with Junk Synchron than with just the 1 Fishboard Blaster, which I might as well show off as well. This card plus Substitute is broken. is insane. You can turn any card in your hand into a body on the field as long as you control a water monster level 2 or lower, I think, which is pretty much always. You're always going to have a level 2 or lower water monster on your field if you're playing optimally. If not, he's just always there waiting for you to combo with him. He's just a great card. I've thought about playing 2, but I'm not playing any salvage, as you guys will see later, so I don't think he's as good in an Avarice-centered build, but when you see him, he's nice. So, yeah. These cards are more so just kind of like utility cards. Dandelion is great with 1-for-1, discard traps and discard spells, which you guys will see in this deck profile. Dandelion is your guy. He's amazing. Sangan is also good. He can search Battle Fader. He can search pretty much a third of your deck. He's insane. So any monster you need, Sangan can help you find it. Battle Fader and Gores are the defensive cards, because a lot of times if they break through your board, they're going to try and push for game. And so you got Battle Fader and Gores to help you out. I think you have to play Battle Fader and Gores, at least in this build, because I've tried without them, and sometimes out of nowhere, a lot of the OTK heavy decks like Dragon Turbo or Blackwing will just out of nowhere destroy you, even when you could have had game next turn. So yeah, I think that these two are important. I'm playing 3 Pot of Avarice. This card's insane. It's better than Pot of Greed in this deck, 100%. Substitoad literally enables this card like crazy. Like, let's say you got 2 Pot Avarices, a Substitoad, and like a Gores on the field. Boom, you tribute your Gores, mill all your Frogs. Avarice, draw 2 and recycle. Do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Avarice, draw 2. It's just overall really nice. This card is amazing. I like it more than Salvage because it can draw into any card in your deck. Salvage can only recycle the water monsters, which, I mean, Duke Frog already does that really well, so I think that Avarice is necessary here. You can use it to dupe lock your opponent over and over and over. It's just an insane card. I love the way it works in this deck. I think this is the best Avarice deck in the format, from what I've seen, and nothing has proved me otherwise yet. A little bit of spice that I play is Lightning Vortex. I was playing it at 3 in the original build with 2 Dandelions, but I cut it down to 2. It's nice. It's great to be able to come back and just kind of build. I mean, like, the nice thing is in this deck, like again with Substitoad, as long as you like draw a Substitoad for turn or holding onto it, like this Substitoad can completely turn the game around with Substitoad plus one other card, which is usually your Treeborn. So Lightning Vortex is nice because if they have you on the ropes, you can wipe their fields, summon Substitoad, go crazy. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised more builds aren't playing it. I think 3 was a little too bricky because having 2 Lightning Vortexes in hand isn't very nice. I'm playing power spells, so I got 1-for-1, Soul Exchange, Econ, Brain Con. I think these cards don't need any introduction, especially these 2 in Frogs. And I mean, these cards are just great Yu-Gi-Oh cards no matter what. So they're just nice. They give a lot of power to the deck. It makes it a lot faster. Makes it a lot easier to interact with things. I love Soul Exchange against a thing like a Raikou, because Raikous, I mean, like, they're the most common set thing in the game, and this thing takes care of set things, whereas Brain Control and Enemy Controller cannot take care of set things, so that's why I really like it. And also it can just help you turn your opponent's monster into Frogs on your field, which is absolutely insane. Heavy Storm and MST for back row removal. It's great because you can clear out back row whenever you want to make a good play. MST's good for spot removal. Heavy Storm, I mean, they're classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You don't really need to know why you need to play these. They're just amazing. For traps, I'm playing a pretty small package, but I'll explain that further when I go into the side deck. But I've got 2 Raigeki Break, 1 Mirror Force, and 1 Legacy. Honestly, as a placeholder, we're playing a 39 card deck, and I'm not upset with it. I really like how this deck is well-rounded, and I think it's just great. It has some weaknesses, but a lot of the cards make up for it, and I think that Raigeki Break is great. I mean, discard traps, discard spells are incredible in Frogs, especially when you're running things like Fishborg Blaster and Dandelion. Onto the extra deck, I'll probably run through this because it's pretty traditional, but you do go into your extra deck a lot in this. I mean, you're playing 3 tuners, and Avarice is at play, so you can reuse any tuner if you want, as long as you just Avarice it back and get it back again. So Armory Arm is nice, Colossal Armory Arm plays, as well as just kind of pushing for game, like Armory Arming a Caius, for example. Junk Warrior is nice, Catastor is another good, level 5. The level 6s are the ones you go into most. The ones I like to go into a lot are Goyo Guardian and Uraquizis. I think they're just great cards in Edison. Uraquizis is nice for piercing and going for game, and also under a dupe block, he puts a lot of pressure. Like, your opponent's going to want to deal with the Uraquizis instead of the dupe block because he just gets stronger every turn. And I mean, Goyo Garden, the exact same. I mean, this guy's a beast. I don't think he needs any further discussion because, like, this guy's just amazing. I'm playing Brianak as another level 6. It's great, but I've noticed that because of how many discard cards we have, it's kind of hard to keep up card advantage, and so Brianak is only nice in certain scenarios, but I do like bringing him out. For the 7s, I'm playing Ancient Fairy Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, and Junk Archer. He's kind of a filler. I never really bring him out, but these two are nice. Ancient Fairy is nice. Just as a defensive monster, and also it can special summon monsters from your hand. Just a great card in general. It also deals with the pesky field spell decks, like if you're going against like Necro Valley or something. So I like it. For the 8s, I'm playing Stardust, of course, how could you forget? Colossal for the armor round plays, and also because he's a good beater. Red Dragon Archfiend, these are my 3 level 8s, and I love them. I think they're great. I think these 3 monsters don't really need any further explanation because they're just great. And I'm playing a Mistworm just because he's nice, and if you have the ability to go into something high level, it's always satisfying to just bounce 3 cards back for free 99. For the side deck, this is something I am definitely changing literally every single time I play this deck, so take this with a grain of salt because it is not fully complete. But I'm playing Vanity's Fiend and Jinzo just as kind of things to go under deck Devi. I mean, these cards are also for deck Devi, and I will talk about them all together low-key. Like, Jinzo's great against trap decks like Black Wings or some like pesky stun decks, which you already have a pretty good matchup against, but I just think Jinzo's great. Vanity's Fiend, great card. Like, I don't think he needs any introduction. Breaker's nice, back row heavy decks, and also for deck Devi, because your Unifrog will get deck Devastation Virus, and we are in a deck Devi meta, so that's important to keep in mind. So this guy's important. He's also a good beater. Cyber Dragon, I don't have the Chimera Tech card, but once I get it, I will put it in my extra deck. This is nice against GBs because I kind of struggle against them. Even if we do have a better matchup than Hero Frogs, I think Cyber Dragon is just a great card. It also gives you a free body when you're going second for Substitute, so awesome guy. Kaiku, I would run him at 2 if I had to. I only have this one, and I think I should get a second one because he's great. Every time I bring him out, if you bring him out in the right moment, boom, you're banishing things from your opponent's graveyard. That's great against pretty much every matchup. I mean, I can't think of one it's not 100% like not good against, but this guy's awesome. Like I said, I was going to come back to my trap count in the side deck. I am siding in traps because if they're playing against Frogs and they see no speller traps, they're going to take out that heavy for an extra slot 99% of the time. I've seen it happen, and they suffer greatly because of it. I like to call it the Nightmare Frogs because, like, in the first game you play the Dream Frogs, it's nice and slow, but these cards make it Nightmare Frogs because, I mean, like, traps are scary, especially against, I mean, we have a hard matchup against pure Black Wings, so these guys help you deal with them. Like, I think traps are great. Pretend these are soul exchanges. Honestly, I just need 2 more soul exchanges. My body is nice, but I don't really ever side it in because there are other cards to protect your dupe frogs and other cards that are just better than having a guaranteed protection. And then I'm playing the 1 soul release. It's nice with Kaiku because you know you have 2 ways to manipulate your opponent's graveyard when going into the 2nd and 3rd game, so it's just nice. That was my Dream Frogs list. Thank you guys for sticking all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any comments, I am a relatively newer Edison player, so if you have anything you think I could improve on or be better at, like, let me know. I'm fully open to criticism. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. This is my Dream Frogs deck profile.
You do what you want when you pop. Yeah.